Hey, I remember Wicked Wins. That shit was wild. Yeah, guys, sorry. Do your check-ins now. Do your check-ins. Do your check-ins. I did it just for you guys. There you go. Allie maintained the first. Dr. Jam, how are you doing? Dr. Jam, are you home? Are you finally home after your long trip? Also, how close are you to Montreal? I bet it's nice to be home. Guys, I just bust down this sandwich. Oh, hell! No wonder. It all makes sense now. I just thought, like, I don't know. I just thought you meant Star in Montreal. I thought you lived in a different part of Canada. But that's awesome. Did you also go to the DVD event? Oh, and you didn't share? Ryan, I have your piece right here. It's a chicken bacon ranch sandwich. I saved half of it for you. Is that the Stargazer? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Star. Let's talk. Star, I have something important to talk to you about, okay? Now, we love the It's Me Jessica. Like, she's kind of iconic, right? And I love that you Jab Jabit Jabit. Is that how you would say that? I don't know French. Um, every time you go, anyway, I love that It's Me Jessica. We could keep it, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie, Star. Whenever you get into Bandits chat and you're just shouting, I just die. It's so good. It's like perfect. I'm scared of this conversation. No, no, it's a good. It's more of a. It's a me thing. It's not you. It's me. And I really want to steal that from him, just so that I can also have joy and whimsy every time you come in. Some more joy and whimsy, you know. I do like that it's me, Jessica. Even more iconic if that is your government. Well, I am a star. Exactly. You know what I mean? So like, hi CJ, welcome in. Don't worry, CJ. I'll put that bot up so you can keep your streak. Okay, Ria. I hope you enjoy doing whatever you're doing later. Have fun. Jessica's not my government name. Okay, so even more iconic. Because the whole time I was like, maybe Star's name is Jessica. Guys, we have a toddler. Okay, also, I redid the house. Don't hate me. I'm not streaming it. I know, I'm sorry. Do you guys want a sneak peek? Hi. Not even close. I'm sick. You're good. I had to start over from before. I know, I'm sorry. I love the song. Wait, what? How are you, Pookie? I know we have done a lot off stream, and maybe I just need to start streaming it on Discord and because I think being on Twitch it makes me nervous. I get overwhelmed on Twitch, but I feel like in Discord I would be like chilling. How am I doing? Okay, so currently in my apartment they're installing insulation in the walls. So I'm hoping they're done by tomorrow. It's rainy today. Today's a much colder day than it's been. We've had a lot of warm days. Today was cold, so I'm happy to be streaming. At least I had some time today. This was my first week of work of my new job. Woo! Uh, your name is Jess. Yeah, I just thought that it resonated with you because that was your name. You know, this is your chat. The fact you have me here, I'm honored. Stop, Star. No, you're iconic. You changed the house, and we have a toddler. So much has happened. Yes, so much has happened, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It was great. And apparently,
Yes.
I've never been on
No,
live
I'm stealing it.
television
I'm stealing
before.
it.
But
Steal it. I'm cool. Whatever. Oh, you make me so happy. Okay, wait. Okay, Star. I know you talked about overall your experience at the DVD event. But maybe Jam, Dr. Jam, can you tell me like maybe two highlights, maybe something you wish was better? And then Star, if there's something you want to add, like I want to know all about it. I want to start going to shit like that. Like I'm like obsessed with all that content, you know? So, and I like that spirit. Like I like the spirit of just being excited for something. My brother really wanted to go to San Francisco this year for all of the Pokemon stuff happening um in the fall, but it just isn't in the cards. And I would love to be in that space, like just in that universe that Nintendo creates. They do such a good job. You didn't get to go? Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm a flop and my ADHD. No, it's okay, it's okay. No, no, no. You're totally not a flop. That makes so much sense. I'm such an indecisive buyer, so don't worry. Trust me, there's a lot I don't buy that people literally need to buy for me in order for me to feel like, okay, I'm going. Miggy Cutie. Okay, everybody get your check-ins. We restarted stream. So we restarted stream so the check-ins could work, okay? So get your check-ins. I'm like, should I do it? And then I missed it. Yeah, like literally that's how a lot of my purchases are. Like I'm happy that I'm dating somebody who literally will pull the trigger and be like, we're doing it. And I'm like, yes. The event was not terrible. Def thinks, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's how I figured that. Okay, awesome. Yes, see, like a lot of people have been trying to get me to TwitchCon. Like there was like a 3 year period where people were trying to get me to TwitchCon, and it just wasn't gonna work out. And it's because of my like anxiety around making purchases. Um, TwitchCon next year, let's do it. Let's all the homies meet up in TwitchCon, but can it not be in California? Like, bring it to Chicago. How iconic would it be in Chicago? It'd be so fun. Bring you heard me, Twitch. Bring TwitchCon to Chicago. Honestly, I'd go to New York too, but I feel like cons in New York are hard. No, do a lot of cons. I guess Comic Con is really big in New York, huh? Okay, guys, let's get into it. Where's my face? Elise, you've never been there for that. Oh, I guess you're also not really in the city, but the city. I think it would be a blast anywhere else but California. California is just so expensive. Like you said, Star. Like bring New Hampshire. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Oh, see, this all makes sense now. Now it's all making sense when I put the pieces together. Guys, let's look at the house. I'm very, very proud of the house. I'm proud of our space that I created. I really want to get rid of this dude, okay? Mermaids are a lot of work. I'm learning. Oh, he went from getting pegged to deal twink trade. Yes. We did a lot of edits to him too. I wanted him to be, because she's a lot of woman, okay? Our girl Leilani is a lot of lady. And he didn't seem like he knew how to handle that. But then you have to think of those stereotypes. Like, sometimes, sometimes it's the skinny ones who know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Okay, so.
Oh,
Oh, pause.
Cardoodle.
Guys, guys. Oh, we also have UI cheats on, which is great. I love UI cheats. I should also do MC Command Center, and those should always just be in my rotation. Okay, we have a lot to show. This is the new house. This window could be literally better placed. Okay. This is the new home. And upstairs, yes, we have an upstairs now. It's a very different space. Um, I still like that it kind of gives boathouse. I'm obsessed with this balcony. She making bank. Oh, honey, between selling these berries and being a scientist, she's making a lot of money. How do we feel about music? Are we okay with music still playing, or should I turn that off? Should I turn that shit off? No, I like the music actually today. Wow, stunning. When can I move in? Guys, I built this myself. So the shell on the bottom is the same exact house. I literally just added this floor. And let's just start from the first floor. So I moved the front door actually to here. So now there's a door here. I know there's an opening here, but people are really not entering and exiting through here. The house is weird. It breaks the Sims a little bit. Um, when you walk in, here's the front of the house. I'm obsessed with this little nook. Okay, we still have this bathroom off to the side. It's a little bit bigger. The bear she never wants to weed. Literally, music is good. Period. Who are all these holes on our porch? Okay, this is that Sims event where they have extra food, but they forget she's vegetarian. They be bringing her pork. Like this is pork in his hand. What is it? Kalua pork. Like, honey, we're vegetarian. Also, that's baby. Okay, wait. Why is she on the floor? I could have sworn she was in the crib. Anyway, so this is the front of the house now. We added some walls. We went through a major deconstruction. We have a little tiny TV section. Um, a little tiny TV section, a huge table for dinners. We have a lot of friends, so they do come over a lot. We have more of a kitchen and breakfast nook. It's more isolated. I They had a promotion. I guess it was on sale. Look at this kitchen, guys. I kind of popped off, didn't I? I kind of ate with the kitchen. Okay. Love the kitchen. So the country kitchen set was free in the Sim shop. So I just downloaded it. And look at how iconic and gorgeous it is in here. And her new office is kind of off to the side of the stairs. And then this is the back of the house now. Instead of the front of the house, it's the back. Now, we have this little office space and we have like the science equipment. I don't know. I was just fucking off and was like, oh, we have the space for it. Uh Chunke is still alive and well. He's using the litter box. Here's baby. Yeah. um and then yeah, so then here's I still really don't know how to pronounce his name. But here he is, our baby daddy. Our little DL Twink Trade baby daddy. And then here's baby Justina. She's so adorable. We'll go into cast to see them too. But yeah, this is the downstairs. And then I made the staircase going up. And then yeah, here's the upstairs. Like, oh, that scared the shit out of me. I don't know if you saw me. That's a real solid thing I was just splat on the floor, literally. She already has some skills too. Like she knows how to lift her head. She has a lot of milestones. This is our new bedroom. We kept the same like. I love this little drape that we had here. But we added like a more of a closet instead of a dresser. And then this is the baby's room. So she has a crib and oh, this needs to be fixed. Hold on. Oh, move. I just wanted everything to fit perfectly on there. It still doesn't fit super perfectly, but let's cut into the wall maybe. As long as it's not spilling on the outside. That's all I care about. Okay, perfect. But yeah, this is the baby's room. That took me way too long, but I think the song got me like amped. The penguin in the little cart, like, isn't it so cute? So yeah, this is her little room. So I think we're gonna keep her. We're not gonna make her our heir. This is our firstborn. She's gonna live her own life. We won't control her. Look, I have firstborn syndrome where there was a lot of pressure on me to be perfect. So I don't want that to happen to our Justina. She gonna live her life, okay? And she's a mermaid, okay? I think we're gonna have another baby daddy or adopt a kid or something. But yeah. Um, yeah, that's it. That's the new digs, which I'm very impressed with myself. I'm so happy with how it came out. Obviously, we still have the chickens, and we have a new little kiddie pool that we bought. But yeah, that's the home. And then yeah, let's get right into this shit. Let's go into Cass. Pick up your kid. Oh, she sat up. What the heck? What is she doing? What just happened? Did she just get dropped? Cause she sat up. Stop! Oh, she laughed. Oh, I thought it was sitting up. Oh, stop! That's so cute. He's so happy. He's like, that's my girl. She said, get me off this. Here, pick her up. Like, what are you doing? It's 5 o'clock. You should be cooking for your lady.
Aww.
And put her in here. Put Justina down. Look at them together. They're so cute together. Why are her eyes green? Let's do it this way. And then, homie, let's cook for our lady. Oh, we should do rice cakes. Stop watching TV. Piss me off. Men are useless. Are the best color eyes? Wait, Ali, are your eyes green? I need to look at them up close. Let's sell all. Let's see if you get along with these chickens. Oh, we have a hen. Who wants to be the hen? Salsa, honestly, Salsa the hen kind of eats. Sorry we missed you. Yeah, get the hell out of my house, okay? And neither of them eat meat. Stop coming here with pork. That's rude. That's low-key rude. Hey! Oh, not him. He's gonna go swimming. Okay, Paka'a. Paka'a? Can we call him PK? Will we get mad if I called him PK? He's gonna go do the chores before Lady comes home. The dinner. Dinner is ready for her. He likes gardening. Look at him. He's like, I understand. Attraction changed. She's only neutral about him. Guys, my plan is working. Maybe they just naturally break up. Look, she's home. She's like, and what have you been doing all day? And where's my kid? And how come she stinks? That's it. They're gonna start fighting. Oh, she also has to do her mischief. Hold on, wait. Let's turn on aging. This music is kind of crazy for this. Like, as if I'm not already anxious. Okay. We're gonna start here. How about this? No, literally, Star. It's Chunky. I know that baby isn't sleeping on the couch. No, that's Chunky. Chunky. We turned on aging. Right? We turned it on. Yeah. We still have to do. Oh, level 4 mischief. Okay, let's play pranks on this hoe. You need to change your baby. She is stanky. What are you stressed out about? So put on music. Like, who is stopping you?
So, you're right.
Hi, Lay.
Like, just put on music. Let's have her feed the baby. Newborn stage goes by so fast. Yeah, but she's an amazing toddler. She's an incredible toddler. And he just doing nothing. A bunch of nothing. Just sitting there listening to music. Useless. Throw this away. Look at them together. She's an incredible mom. Here, let's do tummy time. Oh, they're so pretty. Look at them. Oh, changed her right up. Also, she needs to change her fit. I wish they would change out of their, like, I wish they had, like, a home outfit. Yeah, I want her in that. And then you can eat. Grab a serving. Look at them. Okay, she's just not. He's just doing something. I don't know what he's doing. Like, look at her. She's so sweet. Okay, what? Do we have to have a breakthrough? Okay, we're already done with our breakthroughs. She is so unmotivated. She's like, life is so different as a mom. Oh, she went to bed. Nice. Now you can do your own thing. Aww. We're just gonna have her. Baby's just sleeping on the floor. Aww. She feels fine. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. She's like, yeah, whatever. This is life. She's like, what did I sign up for with this mermaid ass hoe? Oh, it's broken. Look at her go. Oh. Hurry up, finish. I'm just gonna leave that guy alone. Alright, ready to go upstairs, little one? Diva. She's going through it.
Oh, Renee.
Let's go upstairs, little one. Time to go upstairs.
How you boo? Yes.
Look at her, ready for bed. And let's follow them. They're just so sweet. They're so adorable. I love these fins. Okay, toddler unlocked. Feeling protective. When Leilani is around someone she adores, she wants to protect them and keep them safe. I'm obsessed with her. Sorry, guys. We picked some good... Don't you dare wake her up. Don't you dare. Yeah, go watch her. How about you go swimming? Go do something useful. I don't like him. Momo! Hi, Momo. How are you? Welcome in. They are so cute. I'm obsessed with Leilani. Okay. We don't really care about the baby daddy, to be honest. Like, I really cannot. I'm not living for him. I know she could do better. Thank you for the shout out for Momo. Hi, Justino. Justino. I love when people call me Justino or Justino. That's like, honestly, if I could pick a nickname, I love that nickname. Oh, look, he went to bed. She is still up. Baby girl, go to sleep. Baby girl. Oh, she's sleepy. Oh, she's struggling to sleep. Justina is a growing infant, but must rely on caregivers and older Sims to help care for her. She is struggling. Hi, babe. Welcome in, guys. Mark's in Japan. Everyone say hi, Mark. She's so mad. She is angry. Yeah, you go check on she was on mommy duty last night, so she's allowed to not have to be on mommy duty in the morning. Okay? I think I'm gonna increase his need a little so that he doesn't piss his pants again. Alright, let's start our day. Oh, evolve all, look at that. What is the baby mad at? Girl, go to bed. Like, damn, no one's keeping you awake but you. He used the prank toilet. He used the prank toilet. He used the prank toilet. Yeah, make yourself useful, bro. Haha. Just need to get my check-in. Alright, love you, babe. Everyone go say bye, Mark. Have fun in Tokyo. I could kill him and get with the Grim Reaper. Wait, Daddy Grim. Daddy Grim. Oh, you want to reap me, Daddy? I love this song. Let's just get leftovers, and she could do the same thing, low key, once you're done with that. The baby is asleep, finally, but she is hungry. He's still repairing this shit. I'm sick. Honestly,
Swin K. Sarif.
Whatever. Oh, all of it's disgusting. I'm gonna make him clean. Because you really were home all day and you didn't clean. Now what? That's why she pranked you. Why do I don't like it. You want to read me, Daddy? Oh!
Baby Stan. Ibow.
Give Ryan a raise. Thank you. Stop! Honestly, Ryan does deserve a big promotion. You've been promoted! I'm gonna make him do all the work. Ooh, pristine clothing! Okay. She likes being outside. Oh. Put laundry away. I didn't realize that laundry was still out. And then I'm gonna make her work out, low-key. She can't exercise because she's not energized? I don't want her to go jogging. It takes too long. Can she do a workout here? Let's see. Oh, a dance video. That would be fun. Let's see. He's still disgusted. Oh, she's gonna do it. She'll be able to do it. I'm making him clean so much. Come on, girl. Show us your moves. Hey, hey, hey. Teach me how to do. Okay, okay. Yes. Oh, okay.
Oh, puppy.
Girl, Leilani.
Whippa, woo.
Hey, 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 hey. Come on, Leilani. You better work. What? No. Haven, how are you? Ah, so I'm lead mod. What did we say about what just happened? Now, girl. Justice for Momo. We're firing Ryan. That's crazy. Oh, so Momo's trying to plant seeds. I see. And it's been dealt with. Hey, 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 look at her go. She is iconic. We love Leilani. She's eating. Hey, hey, hey. Honestly, we've never joined her at work. Should we go to work? Let's join her at work to this time. We'll leave homeboy with the baby. I mean, he also has work today. Okay, welcome to Future Sim Labs. I actually have never done the science career. I love this song. It's always the same face. That is crazy. Momo, you're safe here, Momo. You're safe. Okay, you'll be quite busy conducting essential experiments, researching new technology, and maybe even interacting with alien life. It is your job to leverage potent scientific equipment for the purpose of good. We hope. Well, we hope. Well, welcome. I don't know what items were removed. Use? Okay, wait, we have mix a tainted serum. I don't know what she's going to do. Why is she sad? She feels abandoned? Girl, we're at work. How do you think we afford you? Momo. Okay. I don't even know what she's doing. Oh, it's building her logic cell. Okay, mix a tainted serum. Upgrade satellite dish. Mix ox serum. Synthesize serum? How do I get a tainted serum? How do I find a tainted serum? Polish. Invent device. Okay, wait. Let's try to upgrade the satellite dish. I don't even know how to... Guys. How do I upgrade the satellite dish? Push big red button? Should I do that? What do these do? I don't know how to mix. Select chemistry lab and choose synthesize tainted serum. But it doesn't even come up. To create tainted serums, I'm an idiot. You must first test the normal serum 3 times on your own. Test serum is a friendly social. Oh. Okay, cool. There you go. There you go. We're gonna get this done. I'm gonna make her go to the whole other building. Come on, girl. Hustle, girl. Hustle. We only have so much time. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Ark! Mama, a sim behind you. Also, the way I typed mama and Ark as a momo. Someone's today me on set. You're gonna work with her for 1 day. She better get fired. Stop! I don't know how to work. It's the object permanence that permeates. Okay, keep going, girl. And then we're gonna do. Where's the serum? How do I test it on someone? How do I test it on them?
Your boy.
Girl, you can't be bored. Okay? Where's the bathroom? And where's the bathroom? Is it really downstairs? Like, this is a lot, girl. It's not even downstairs. Wait, what's this? Oh, it's a shower. We found the toilet. How are you, Angel? How are you, Angel? Ark, how are you doing? This week has been my first week at work. It's a hatchable egg. Oh no. I have to put it in the incubator. Girl, hurry up with your serums. Where are my background singers? Ark, how was your day today? This is my first week at the a little tainted. Should test it on someone. Oh, we did it. Okay, read a book. Mix ox strength serum.
Yibs. Only yibs.
She's bored. Okay, but no one told you to be a scientist and outdoorsy girl. Yeah, it's my first. I keep starting the sentence over and over. It's my first week at work, so I've been in a lot of training, a lot of onboarding, a lot of getting like talked at. But it's been cool so far, and I'm learning a lot. So, oh, here you go. Spy on the neighborhood. That's kind of funny. Let's do that. How do I upgrade a satellite? Place the satellite dish on the invention constructor. Oh. I don't have a satellite dish. And it's because I never go to work. I can't build a satellite dish, guys. Yeah, so that's not. What is she mad at? Why won't it work? But I'm happy I get to stream today. Honestly, like I'm happy that I had time tonight to do it. They've also been doing some work in my apartment. I'm literally so distracted by the game. They've been doing work in my apartment that has not been Like, I just don't want the mouse. And I thought it was gonna be a much quicker, um, thing, but they're gonna be here till Thursday, so I'm hoping they're done by Thursday. Cause I don't know, just not interested in having this be an all-week thing. I also like wanted to do training from home and just wanted to be home this week and the next, before I start going into the office. But yeah, I've been having to leave home because it's too loud here. I want her to get up to level 5 mischief. I guess we won't do well at work today, guys. Allie's right. We're getting fired. Somebody's getting fired. Is it hybrid or at the office all the time? It's at the office all the time, but the hours aren't terrible. Alright, we're level 5. We need one more level. I'm inventing something. What happens today? Oh, paka'a. Paka'a. I only made $200, guys, because I didn't do any work. Because I couldn't. I didn't have a satellite dish. Now what? Justina has returned from daycare. Homegirl is bored. Let's go talk to our kid here. Grab! Wait, what? We didn't even get to see it. Why didn't the camera just lock on her? Oh. Okay, girl. Let's go play with your daughter. Pick up. Let's feed her. Bounce. Comfort. And then we'll do tummy time here, alright? I'm just gonna say sit. And then what's he doing? Swimming? Yeah, whatever. Do what you gotta do, bro. I'm over it. Where are you going? Girl, did you really prioritize sitting down? How about you incubate that egg before it dissipates into nothing? Just giving up. She picked sit. She said, you know what? I have no strength to be up right now. I need to sit down. Oh, the baby's asleep anyway. You know what? Whatever. Incubate that egg. Scatter feed. Is it forever? Hey! Hey! Get the hell off. Don't dig in the sand while your raccoon is eating your food. This queen. Just a mermaid. He is so happy. Look, he's like, I'm feeling so incredibly great. And she's bored. He ate all of the food. Just ate the whole meal. What a freak. She was about to kiss him. No. Because he ate your food. He don't deserve no kisses.
Ooh, chumcha.
Chunky! That was my dinner! What is this? An omelet? That's what she chose?
I've seen.
Honestly, let's go for a run. Go jogging.
Ooh, that's the bay.
Go jogging again. Guys, I can't wait to buy Paralives.
Oh,
Soon
Koshe.
come. Paralyzed Dream. Paralyzed. I'm so excited. She's trying to get her pre-mom bod back together. She's like, look, I used to go jogging, I used to work out, I used to swim and boat, I used to have a social life. There she goes again. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Yeah, Leilani, you better work. Guillermo Juarez? Who's that? Who's Guillermo Juarez? Wait, someone I... Who's Guillermo Juarez? A sim in a previously played profile has died. Played household has died. Who dat? What do you want to do? I don't know who that is. Rip in peace, Diva. Literally. What do you mean? What do you mean Guillermo died? Who dat? No, you're going to push the limits, girl.
Yibs.
Yibs my booty hole. We're gonna just cheat you up a little. Go for that run. Go for that run, girl. You got it. At 1:15 in the morning. She's trying to get away. Otherwise, she's gonna complain that she's not outside. What was that?
What was that?
James.
Okay.
Ronnie! Hi! Welcome in, Ronathan. Ronnie. How's it going, friend? Okay, okay. She's tired. She's tired. Where's she going? Girl, where are you going? Oh, she's going to comb the beach for trash. What is happening in here? She's hungry? Yeah, bottle feed. Hurry up. Hello? Babble milestone. Oh, that's what we were waiting for? No! Feed your baby! Not them fighting for who. They were both trying to see the... Girl, if you don't get your shit... He's with the baby right now. Do what you gotta do. It literally overrode all of her... Okay, thank you, Ryan, so much for being here. I appreciate you. Ronnie, how have you been? Ronnie, how's your week been?
Ow! Ugh.
She's smelling herself and she hates it. It's 4 in the morning, by the way. We're just gonna cheat her. We're gonna just cheat her sleep up. Not her irritated. She's like, you broke my sink. I'm well, how are you? Everybody act right. Ryan. No, can you repair? Girl, get it together. This week has been crazy with onboarding stuff for my new job. But we're doing alright. There's also like work happening in my apartment right now. So that's just been kind of like inconvenient, but nothing terrible. Look at the new house. Look at how pretty it looks. Isn't it incredible? Look at that, look at that, look at that. We added a second story. Turn my camera off real quick so I can have a bite of my food. Guys, I'm eating a chicken bacon ranch. Yum. Yeah, patty sandwich. All right. I want her to do tummy time. Oh, they could do small talk.
Septa. Haha.
Oh, oh.
Napa Wava. You samba pony? Yappy bizarre.
Guys, look at him. I'm obsessed.
Abenor Yikla? Let
Guys,
him move. Prita Flimmer?
guys, this is Leilani. She's our founder with her
Uh-huh.
firstborn.
Plimba Bay.
San, holy
Uh-huh.
shit. San, how are you
Shiddly.
doing? How are you? How are you doing? Thank, get your check-in. Thank you for coming in. Look at her.
Ah, Rochi.
Oh, I'm obsessed with them. Rocksteady. Bringing out the best. Stop. She's obsessed with her kid. I love that. I love that she's obsessed with her kid.
Amoeba.
What does she have to do? Clean the coop? Okay, yeah, she can totally do that. And the baby's an early riser. Justina's an early riser. That's one of her quirks. Oh, okay, you better work out. One of her quirks is early riser.
Ah.
So she's up early with her babes. Oh, she went back to bed.
See what?
Congratulations. Wait, for my new job. Thank you so much, Ronnie. I appreciate it. It's been a long time. I really thought, listen to his question. How about no?
Whipney. Axum.
I called over the pet by accident. Be alone. Saying, how have you been, friend? Oh my god, I've missed you. I miss you so much. Down. Play your video games or whatever it is you do. Oh, programming and video games. Straight up going to take a nap. I'm gonna let him do what he wants. Eh, I'll hit you up tomorrow. I got you. And we'll talk. And we'll catch up. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to keep up with you. I really do apologize. I had a streak there for a while, but life got really fucked for me. So I was staying focused, so I wouldn't literally crash out at every moment. Where is she going?
Yabosa.
I'm gonna send a chain letter to my ex again. As much as I tried and tried and tried, I couldn't be the Sims girly I wanted to be. So much to be. I could just not get into gameplay. Watching though. Yeah, this is Leilani. So she's our founder. She's kind of iconic, and now we have a toddler and all that. We love Justina. Justina's a mermaid like her dad, but honestly, I don't think she likes him very much. Like, she don't feel the heat like she used to. I think it was fun to her because they were like fun and cute, you know. Let's prank the toilet again. We have to make it to level 6 mischief. Patient meditation in the night. Because she came home from work and her baby was on the floor. Yeah. And he hadn't cleaned the house. Like, you're home all day. You're not cleaning the house? She's about to go to work. I know. He's honestly, no, we're sending her alone. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Okay. That's it. Moment of truth. They both going to work. Baby's going to daycare. No, sister. Sent to daycare. No, it is no vibration. Something. I need to clean my house. You're like, speaking of cleaning houses. Oh, this looks so cute. I kind of ate up. Station baby in the sky. Haka has just noticed a section of software that is riddled with bugs. He can buckle down and report them all by himself, or convince his zealous coworker to do it. Just report the bugs. See, look, she's tense from being cooped up. That's why I had her running till 4 a.m. Hey, Leilani, I think Darren Cardenas is pretty cute. Should I ask him out? Sure. I never know what to say to them. Dark side gets a little. Hey. Oh. Damn, it's so dark. See, she made $1,000. Look, she made $1,600 when she went to work by herself. She only made $200 when I was there. You know what? I'm never going to work with her again. I'm ready to get rid of this guy. So, we're home. Where's the baby? We have a day off tomorrow. Oh, the baby is a mess. Pick up. You know what? We knew you were a deadbeat when I realized you were a twink. Okay? Change diaper. Breastfeed. Where's that option? And then um 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 um, um. Cuddle. Because I'm obsessed with them. And then she can put her here. Put Justina here. And then you're drop. What if I never. What if I just kill him? Guys, should I just make him shrivel up and die? What if it happened during Thanksgiving? Traumatic experience. Cut that out. Cut that out. Y'all didn't hear that. Y'all didn't hear that. Y'all didn't hear that. No. I just got real giddy for a section. That I felt evil. That's it. We're killing him. I'm just gonna make sure he doesn't go into the water. Yeah, girl, go see your kid. She's filthy. She needs help. She needs rest time. Go. She didn't change the diaper. Like, why? Why did you skip that part? What is this music? No, don't just talk with her. Clean her diaper.
What is that? Banana news. Highlight.
Look at her talking with her.
Sparba.
Changing her outfit first before she changes her baby's outfit. Can you change?
Stubborn.
Change her diaper. Guys, I'm crashing out. Hurry up. Stop talking with her. Oh my god. Change her diaper. Stop complaining. Hurry up.
Chiplahave Zarba. Dukna! Skivabora! Huh?
Amoeba. Goyim. Nabaste.
Oh my god, why are you reading to her? Clean her, clean her. She still hasn't changed the diaper, by the way.
Whew.
Like, that never happened, by the way. That was the most stressful experience. Oh, the hamper's full. Lovely, lovely. Look at him asleep. Look at him asleep. There's laundry to be done. He is just literally... Not them gagging. Yeah, that's your stinky kid. Literally. Like, what do you mean?
Alright.
Turn your damn music off. I'm gonna ruin him. I'm just gonna make him irritated. There was another pile of clothes upstairs. I'm sick. Can you do something? Can you put the baby to sleep? Put the baby to sleep. Put her to bed at least. At least do something helpful. He said cuddle up. Put that baby to sleep. Yeah, like, come on now. Don't make me regret dating you. She's doing all the laundry by herself, by the way. It's 2:30 in the morning. No, don't even come over here. How is the baby stinky already? Change the diaper. Do anything. Like, help her. She's doing all the chores. She's exhausted. Look at her. She's having a tantrum in the crib, and so he can't help her. Okay, toddlers. Toddlers. Okay. It's okay. Oh my god, so much laundry. Oh god, she's exhausted. Toddlers for real. I put the stinky diaper in the wall, by the way. Clean her up.
Oh, shui bee.
Oh. I reset her. Oops. I treated her like an object. He just playing with his stinky baby. He's just doing abs at 4 a.m. Guys, it's 4 a.m. Guys, it's 4 a.m. Guys, it's 4 a.m. Also, I haven't cheated his hydration. He just literally won't fix it. I'm cheating her hygiene because the fuck. I'm honestly, I'm stuck. I can't. I need a bite of my sandwich. I'm stressed. All right, it's harvest rest. Why doesn't he go to sleep? Guys, he's not taking care of himself. I think my wishes are gonna come true. I think he's broken, but I'll let him die. I don't care. I'm gonna make him do that. Does he get hydration? I think he's gonna die, guys. Oh, we got a little chick. Gnomes! Guys, the gnomes. The Thanksgiving gnomes. Let's kick the gnomes. Let's see what happens when he kicks them.
Go the big. Oh, Korsna. Oh. Oh, ha ha, Yibsy. Where? Yeah.
Oh, hell no. They multiplied! How has Leilani angered the gnome? He's the one kicking him. Well, Quindlezibs. Let's just sing. She hasn't even done her chores. Oh, they're breaking everything in here. They're breaking all my shit because we made them mad. They're breaking everything. See what you did, girl. Whole time it was me. They're just bullying him, by the way. All slept through the night.
Oh.
Why are they still angry? They're just following him around. Dude, what is going on? He's still dehydrated. He's not changing it. Why does he always come down to ask a question? What the hell was that? Guys, I'm stressed.
Sawada.
Tofurkey? Let's have her do that. Salsa's thinking of leaving. I'm just gonna kill them all. Hurry up. Sorry guys, I'm eating a sandwich.
Dukna, Skipabora, huh?
my god, evil.
Ooh, you mala. Parsifal, you bow.
Now mop.
Oh.
Now we have to move the whole counter. Yeah, kick the last gnome.
Oh, me gusta.
No, that
Oh,
doesn't mean
Ormta.
mine. There's so much trash everywhere. Why?
Soy birth. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, Yumala.
That's it. It's happening.
Oh, Reba.
I want to make him so dehydrated. I want to see what that looks like.
Obite.
Am I being evil? Yes. But we need something traumatic to happen.
Ah, absida. Ah. What is that? Banana nubu. Hi, leg. Ooh, laba.
Let's do tummy time. Oh no. Not you. Don't make this sad.
Ooh,
Don't make this sad.
Huh. Oh.
Florid. Oh, Kinawa.
I kind of feel bad he's gonna die. Was that a raccoon? Yeah. Guys, he's doing dolphin noises. It is a raccoon. His name is Chunky. He's our pet.
Biba.
Yuba. Oh.
Please, uh-huh.
Look at him. I'm sorry. We're not really obsessed with you, bro. Sorry. I'm sorry. I hate to say it.
Darfy. Amida. Amida. Woohoo!
Yeah, you go, girl.
What is that? Huh? Getna. Darfy.
Yay! Look at her go. She's so sweet. Amazing being.
Ah. Uh-huh. Oh, Nea. Huh. Poya hinaba. Sapoya. Woohoo!
I'm trying to make him dehydrate to death. What happens to the mermaids when they dehydrate?
Ah.
Roll over to back. Oh, yay! New milestone. He's so sad. I kind of feel bad. I keep ignoring his questions. Isn't he so cute? We love Chunky. Okay, this is really morbid. We're really about to kill our baby daddy. What the heck was that? What are these noises? Oh, Chunky's taking a shit.
Oh. Nayipsy. Oh, Nayipsy. Puzzle
Oh, he's
looks.
heartbroken.
Bruna!
Why can't he sleep here? I don't know why he can't sleep with her. Alright, homegirl's asleep. Operation Get Rid of the Baby Daddy is a go. Squeamish at the moment and doesn't appear to have the stomach for gross things. Yeah. He's not really good at taking care of his needs. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know why he's being so weird about his needs. Because I'm actually not making him not do anything. He's just not doing it. Ark is gonna die! Oh, she peed her pants. Guys, she pissed herself. Homeboy finally went to bed. I don't know what was his problem. Showers take so long in the game. Let's get rid of that shit. I love you, I cheats. I don't want her to be embarrassed. I don't know why she was even awake. She has a few things to do. Look at her go. Homeboy's awake again. He's fully hydrated somehow. Don't know how that happened. Guys, am I about to do it? Fuck it. YOLO. Oh, he died! Well, it's what we wanted, right? Oh, poor PK. I honestly didn't even know how to say his name. So rude and disrespectful. I hope she doesn't happen upon its body. She's just selling her plants. She don't even know. She doesn't even know what happened. He's just dead. This is so sad and morbid. She's just playful. Ball uncontrollably. She's in. No! Oh! She just walked in on her man. She's laughing.
Suna.
She's laughing. Oh hell no. Girl, what? Paka has passed away. Begin a new chapter of life by becoming a ghost. Exciting ghostly powers await in the afterlife. Perhaps Paka has some unfinished business to attend to. Can also choose to relinquish control of Paka and allow him to stick around as a free roaming ghost. I don't want to play as him. Oh no. Well. Might as well become friends with Grim, huh?
Rogaba.
Yeftimbe Abasan. Zapin Kwarshabin. Shimray. Monsafsari.
Not them chatting.
Salubapina. Zafuim Napatane. Rubin.
Lustish. Garthura.
Guas.
Spino Kilum.
Ask about the Rainbow Bridge. I'm sick.
Tukibu. Siwa.
Tuga. Oh.
Haga. Rix.
Watuni. Subsito.
I heard my boss saying I would be a good candidate for promotion. Yeah, you should totally go for promotion. Alright, well, it was nice talking with you.
Wishu.
You gotta go. Great to meet you. We're not going to work today. Our husband died. Our baby daddy died. Esteban, hi! What happened? Chunky! No, Chunky's alive! Chunky's alive! We may or may not have killed our baby daddy by starving him to death. How are you doing, Esteban? How are you? Thank you for getting your chicken. Oh, the baby daddy. We got rid of PK. And now she's flirting with Grim Reaper. Now we have to go to break the news to her dad. I mean, to his daughter. But this just means we can, like... Wait, question. Have you ever done that? No, I haven't. And honestly, that sounds like I would be scared. It was time for him to go. Yeah, he did what he got me a baby. Oh, wake up. Like, hi, Justina. You know your teacher, Miss Brenda? Well, she's I'm good, man. How are you? Well, we're doing good. We're playing Sims. We just killed our baby daddy because he was honestly so much work. We had to get rid of him. We're on to newer horizons. All right. Our firstborn is a mermaid, so that's already gonna be a lot as she gets older. By the way, she's so sad. She's telling him. She's telling her, your dad was a great mermaid. What is he still doing here? Oh, changing the diaper. She was like, I was such a bad partner. Oh, me thinking my camera was on the whole time. My camera's off. Oh,
Yikla. Yikla.
it's his urn.
Suna. Well, no.
Can you go home? Don't be sad, little one. Oh my god, our ex is here. Let's have it. Share secret. I killed him. I killed him. I'm just chilling. I know. And then our ex come here. I don't know where. What is she? Why is she already dirty? I'm making her clean because I don't have time for that. I don't have time.
So. Skid row Whitney?
Orsha Wizard?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Grinza. Bueno. Darboing Yaba Barf?
Wizu Naru?
Tiva.
Oh, Yishla.
No.
Ah.
I never really got over you. Imagine. Imagine.
Where's Chupasa?
No, remember she was bored of him.
Ravobi, Hapiam, Habeni. Varudi Campol. Dibbo, where's
I want her
Chupasa?
to just discuss her sad feeling.
Home Frabors. Isabel. Yafu. Harbor Doors.
Yibs, Hapiam from. Reba, Ukinikan.
It's them laughing together.
Muscat Treeb. Yaflop Abgor.
She got hungry. She said, I'm gonna go get food. Just like me. I want to be left alone. My baby dad just died. Like she's about to cry it out. Oh, not me canceling the cry. Sad, energized, sad. She was just a mess.
Joby. Oh, Blink. Grandpa, have a joy.
Guys, this is her why.
Savra.
This is her why. I'm about to eat on camera, guys. I don't care.
Aw, Nubu. Oh, beret.
Oh. He came inside the house.
Phenosa
I'm gonna let this work out.
Gorch botany. Ooh. Zabi munip.
Hinbe Yishla? Oh, Kubepta.
Stop.
Brat Manouche.
What are they talking about?
Naya floof moochie peachy.
Floof Moochie Peachy, what do you mean?
Infalna seraphi. Kalu pizoi brabani.
Ah,
He's thinking about her.
so far.
Parsife froben. Skuma plondi.
Nina Preeb.
Stumpsy. Tisa web galarga. Uchima.
Nursa Crizo. Josa Wiva. Bean for
Like, what am I supposed to do? What is life after death? I literally walked into my house and he was dead.
Henna Borf. Furobi. Spino.
Ah.
Shani Bazur. Ebony Darfa. You know, Sneeb. Hispa.
Oh.
Zigaphony.
Bzrik. Hapiam. Wanafesh.
Gloomy compliment. Why not?
Fubame. Lamina.
Sabao.
It's the bow.
Oh.
She said, shut your bit. She's like, I can't be seen. Where is he going? He's taking out the trash for her. No, she's sobbing. Not her taking a nap. With, oh, he's just watching her. He's like, I'll watch her for you. Oh my god, he stayed to watch the baby. Wait. Maybe he was our man all along. Guys, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe that's what she's saying. She's like, I made a mistake and now he's dead and now I don't have anyone. Poor girl. I want her to lay here next to her baby. He's still here. Oh no. They're just stuck there. Oh, he was still here. He's leaving now. Look at them. She's so sad. What did I do to my Sims? Like, why would I do that to her? I'm miserable, guys. It's almost her birthday. What do you mean it's almost her birthday? Wait, wait. When's her birthday? What do you mean? What do you mean? Her birthday's tomorrow. Guys. Guys. Justina's birthday is tomorrow. I'm not ready for this. We're about to have a child. Alright. And then it's her birthday in 2 weeks. Guys, this is too much. I want to wake her up. suck if I have to clean her again. I can't do it. It's literally her birthday tomorrow. What do you mean? She died. Her dad died the day before her birthday. Be so serious. They're stuck.
Dalba!
Our friend didn't come here to say her condolences. She came here to swim. Great. You just come here for my beach. Oh, she just has a jet ski. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, normal. Yeah, normal.
She's going to the bathroom and then we can send her to bed. It says we're literally having a conversation. Look, she's a mermaid. So sad. Just like her papa. Just like papa. She can't fall asleep for some reason. Complain about lack of fun is hilarious. Oh, she woke up sad. Oh, she's like, I can't believe I walked in on a dead guy. Oh, I kind of hate her seeing her like this.
Dubai.
Dubai, Dubai. Yeah, go eat. Ooh, we evolved more plants. Water with tears is crazy. Fuck it, yeah. They have amazing compatibility. Wait, what is happening? He's a mixologist now, so he has a job. He didn't have a job before. Just good friends. Amazing. I have neutral romantic feelings. Friendly advice. Leilani remembers when Mauricio listened to her problems. Adoring. He's so wonderful. Leilani feels close to Mauricio from good times and happy memories. Wait. Just good friends. Wait. Maybe he's the one. Oh, we have to explore this, guys. We need to explore this. Guess who got a promotion? No, not you. It was me. I can't.
Oh, yeah, me. Skuna. Me.
It's actually working, guys. I'm dead. Bitch. Literally. Alright, it's noon. Wake up. And then we're gonna make her a little birthday cake and a little birthday candle and invite her friends. We're gonna invite Mauricio. And we're gonna see how that all boils down. We gotta remember, lifespans here, like your life is so short in The Sims. You can't really waste a lot of time crying over your ex, you know?
Oh,
Sometimes you just
Boxene.
gotta die.
Huh, original?
You ready to wake up, little one? Happy
Oh.
birthday!
Uh,
Here, let's practice sitting,
Ha. Ah, so.
and I'll talk to you. Roll over to Tummy! Let's go! We love that! Look at that milestone! Look at her go!
Shtobadu. What's up? Fazoon, Zambowatu. Gilna. Darfi Defuni. Ista. Abenor. Waxen.
Okay, she's broken. She is very sad. You remind me of your dad because you're a mermaid. Stop it! That was so cute! Oh, that was so cute. She's like, you are my world.
Norbavoon.
Here, let's do some tummy time before we invite folks over.
Abenor. Eleni. Stevie. Boy,
Invite over to current lot. Mauricio. We'll invite these guys. Where's the other Nunez guy?
a feast bowl. Oh. Lissarat, Kai.
Oh wait,
Boo.
it's cook.
Oh. Kaling.
I hate that instead of baking, they should have moved the cakes over to the bake action. Let's make her a strawberry cake.
Sabu Labanor. Doyam.
Renshu.
Why'd she change her voice?
Huh?
Look at her go.
Tonight. Show you my.
She got up! Oh my god, look at her go! She sat up! On her birthday, she sat up. Let's go! Who's that? Luis Trujillo. Where are all my friends? Where's everyone that said they'd be right over? Okay, there they come. There's Mauricio. Stop, look at her play! Another fire? No! Extinguish the fire! She went for the baby. Where are you bringing your child? Oh my god, why would you do that to her? You brought her into the fire? Like, what are we doing? Hold on. I thought we were done with fires. To make matters worse, she's just trying to bake a cake for her daughter. Fine, let's make a coconut cake. Fuck it. Holy shit. She put the baby down. She's crying. She's freaking out. Put the baby in the crib. You know what? I'm gonna cheat some of your needs. Why is no one coming into the house? First blowout? Girl, now's not the time! The fire phased none of my friends. None of them came inside to see if I was okay. She mastered cooking! Let's go! There you go. Cleaned her right up. I need them all to come over here. There you go. Look at them. Look at them. Here they come. Here they come. Everyone come inside over here. There you go. Cleaned her right up.
Yes. Shroby. Shorg.
All right, Justina, let's go.
Annabelle.
Look at them go. Oh, look at her.
For moi?
She's gonna age up. She's gonna age up. Yay! Justina has to earn a bonus trait. Ooh. Oh wait, no, she's a toddler now. Now she's a toddler. She was an infant. I forgot infant, then toddler. Look at her. Just walking all over the guests, by the way.
Oh, Lampima.
So.
Oof tubba dubby.
All right, everyone, eat some cake. Oh my God! Look at her hair. It's so cute. The movement skill. Let's go.
Pomeray Bahira.
Talk to stranger. Yeah, let's let them have a relationship.
Bumble.
Oh, they're all here for her daughter's birthday.
Lisa Sway.
Huh?
Plavorba Pendola. Becky Wilma.
Oh, Aunt Chibi.
Huh?
Maybe let's have them flirt a little bit.
Flirt. So.
So.
Swick. Flirt.
Tuka? Oh.
Poochie.
Septo.
Oh,
That's
that's
it.
it. Her little toddler will. She was just a baby, yes. She was just a baby.
Umfra?
Oh,
Yipsy. Snurf.
Oh, Bernardo,
Huh?
boy.
Oh, he's jealous.
Zupo. Una.
Give parenting tips? Why not?
Desmikos Karenzi. Funchil Bratsa. Spapam. Neva.
Class?
Wisdom.
Uh-huh.
Mola Shubine.
Live soon. Brief.
Suna. Wano.
Naramu.
Nibza.
Oh.
Oh. Dreffen Abo.
Yay, boo. Cruise.
Oh. Oh.
I'm just gonna make them flirt. Whatever.
Samba.
I knew they were meant to be before.
Yabara. Swudacho. Unjabirdna.
Oh.
Erba base.
Oh. Ufa Taru.
check on Justina? Let's go do that.
Tuka? Oh. Ukanoi Sabrim Hishpa?
Oh, big heart, big heart, big heart. Excuse me, try for baby in the shower? Well, yes. That's not even a cheat. Look at her waddling. Oh, she is grumpy. She's about to pass out. Oh, just passed out right on the floor. Honestly, we can't really waste a lot of time, okay?
Gibbs.
I'm gonna prank all these people.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Dag.
Uh-huh. Shemu. Laimana Jasapa.
On Tolay.
Kilan. Voosh. Saquinario. Saquinario. Oh, my foof. Uh-huh.
I'm still so sad. No amount of... Oh, she's just playing in the toilet.
Organon.
Convert to toddler bed. Nola used to do that if I tried waking her up from her nap and she just wanted to keep napping. Oh, she would just lay on the floor. I love that. She loves water. Well, would you look at that? Just like her dad. She's too sad to do this, even though, like, right before she was like... She's just running around. Look at her go. Toddler bed. She's crying. Is everybody still here? No, they all left already. Eat the cake. Why are you still in my house, sir? Go home. Oh, she's still so sad. Can you please just go to sleep? Okay, I want to raise her mischief. Loves being carried. Jesus. We also have to change her outfits. Oh. I want to increase her mischief level. I just want to get up to the next level Is the baby sleeping in the chicken coop? No, no, no. We have a chair out here. She was asleep in here. Imagine. She is so sad. I just want her to raise her level, so I'm just gonna cheat her needs. We're gonna raise that level up if it's the last thing I do. It's winter. It's prank day. Let's plan the baby's outfits now that she's a toddler. And then I think that's where we'll end stream. We'll just do her do her outfits and raise her I like this hair. I think the hair is cute. I think this is the hair for her. Unless we want to go with this. What's this? That's cute too. Wait, maybe her hair is more like this. Like, how cute is this? This is cute too, honestly. I think I just... What's this? Oh. Stop. She's adorable. I like that hair. Honestly, this is the one. I like that. Oh, the little chicken. Let's take her shoes off. She'll just be a barefoot little baby. Oh, that's a cute formal outfit. That's fine for the hair. I think I want a full body situation. That's cute. Oh my god, this is so adorable. Isn't she so cute? I miss doing cutesy hair for my kids. She has so much hair for a toddler, literally. Let's do something like this. Oh my god, the little laugh is so cute. Honestly, that's a cute fit. We'll leave her like that. She's not a mermaid yet, but she is merfolk. Ronnie, how's your day today? Alright, we're gonna raise her mischief, and then we're ending stream. I have to take my setup apart and move it before I go to bed, so it'd be like that. I'm bored. I'm being trapped inside. Too bad. Well, that's too damn bad. Oh. It's floating in midair. Why did she... No, girl. Just do your little mischief. Warm and cozy. Oh. She's just so bored. Look at her. Okay, but she's not sad anymore. Oh, did she make it up? No, it was the baby. It was the baby. Go back.
Bobby. So close.
I'm dead. That's so cute. Let's give Justina applesauce. Where is she going? She's throwing a tantrum. Stop. Stop trying to put her to bed. She's broken. Monty duty calls. Bye, Ronnie. Thanks for being here. We're about to end anyway. What's in her hands? Come on, we're so close to this. Monica Lopez asked me out on a date. Should I say yes? I don't think that's a good idea. What about me? And what about me? I almost fumbled the bag. Come on. Come on, grind it. You're so close. I just want to get past this. Come on, come on. We did it. Oh, we almost did it. We almost did it, guys. Come on. Where are you going? It won't let us level it up. We did it! Oh my god, we finished it! We finished the milestone! Let's go! Okay, clog drains at 3 different homes. Perform voodoo 5 times. We have a voodoo doll. And achieve level 10 mischief. Okay, cool. And with that being said, I think we're gonna end stream there. A lot happened this stream. A lot happened. We killed our baby daddy. Our toddler became our baby became an infant, became a toddler. and we rekindled a love with our ex. What else is new? Just kidding. It's never happened before. But I'm gonna call it there, guys. Let's go raid Ryan. And I hope he's not listening. So much happened this episode, but I'll be live again on Friday. Oh, on Saturday, I mean. And we will be playing DBD Saturday night. So anybody who wants to come play should come play. Let's go raid Ryan while they play I think they're playing Resident Evil. And yeah, we'll be playing DBD, and then I think we're gonna start the quarry on Sunday. Um which is gonna be just incredible because I love that game and I can't wait to play it again. And play with you guys. So get ready for that. Ali, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And thank you for checking in on me all the time. And I really appreciate you and your energy and your vibes and your presence. Ronnie and all my friends who came in today to check in and get your check in. I really appreciate y'all. Star and Dr. Jam, everybody. Let's go say hi to Ryan. I love you all. Thank you for stream. No, thank you for stream. Stream is only great because you guys are here. And so um stream is just that much better when you guys are here and hang out with me. So thanks for making stream great. And I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.